Alright, crazy Medusa fam, it's time that we grow up. In this video, we're not only going to look at scholarships that you can get for your study abroad journey, but also talk about how you can become financially independent in the long run. When I got my Cornell offer letter for my master's program, I was over the moon and super excited. But if you guys have seen all of the previous videos, we know that it is nearly impossible to get a scholarship for masters in the US, especially for international students. So as soon as I got the offer letter, my hustle began. I started running to banks, trying to chase down and collect all of my documents for proof of funds, countless meaningless tea sessions with bank managers trying to explain to them what and how an I-20 works. And it was just so stressful trying to secure that education loan and trying to get the best rate from different banks. So in this video, we are going to look at scholarships worth $25,000, the best way to explore education loans, and talk about some serious student visa issues that can potentially cost you up to one whole year wasted. And all of this is going to be possible with Zolve's one-stop solution that is perfect for any student who's migrating to the US, whether you are coming for an undergrad, postgrad, or a PhD program. So once you get your acceptance letter, right before or shortly after you get your I-20 issued, the university will ask for proof of funds. Now, for those of us that don't have maybe like $50,000 just lying and sitting around in the bank account, a common solution that students take is getting an education loan. Now, getting this entire education loan is tricky, and the I-20 document itself is very, very important in it altogether. Now, for those of you guys that don't know what it is, the I-20 is basically the document that allows you to get your student F1 visa. So whether you get 100% scholarship, 50%, or even a 20% scholarship, your I-20, which is issued by the university, will have something called the estimated average amount, which can range anywhere between $20,000 to $50,000 that will be required to show as proof of funds in order to obtain your student visa. Now, in most cases, if you're opting for the education loan, this process is very, very stressful. I've kind of experienced it firsthand. You have to chase down banks trying to get the loan approved. And even if you get the loan approved, there are different interest rates that they charge you. I've seen banks charge like 25, 20% variable interest rate, which if you're like a teenager, a lot of this stuff will just go over your head, and it can get like very, very overwhelming dealing with a ton of banks and also trying to chase down the best interest rate, the best offer for you as a student. Now, this is where Zolve makes things super easy. They have tie-ups with over 15 different banks, which makes things super easy and convenient. You just fill out the forms on their website and you automatically get your loans approved. And in most cases, you don't even need the I-20. So you can do this process just with your acceptance letters and the different bank accounts, the different interest rates that they're offering. You can compare all of that on Zolve's platform and see what works best for your situation. So if you're a student who's heading for the spring 2024 intake, I would highly suggest checking out Zolve for the education loans. It's super easy. They will help you with all of your questions, and I'm going to leave a link in the description to get you guys started. Next up, let's talk about the student visa. So I personally feel that the sheer amount of responsibility that comes along with getting a student visa isn't given enough importance. You guys as students work so hard on your college applications, getting into a good college, collecting everything that you need, and then everyone just thinks that, oh yeah, I'm gonna get a student visa, it's gonna be a piece of cake, and you see yourself in the US. Did you know that India had the highest record of student visa rejection rates last year, being at 35%, and they are on track of even breaking that record this year, which kind of shows the importance of preparing yourself for the student visa interview, which has a lot of steps and a lot of things that can go wrong, which can potentially end up costing you an entire semester or even up to an entire year, where you have to just wait and apply again next year. Now, I've seen a lot of interview cases where students get rejected simply because they're really anxious and they're not able to communicate effectively to the embassy officer in English, or they give like a wrong answer where maybe they say something like, I plan on doing a business in the US, when their original intent should be to come as a student and study. Or they're not able to show the right proof of funds. They show like non-liquid assets, in like properties or whatnot. And a lot of these things just all pile up to the fact that students are not well prepared for their visa interview. Now, all of this is definitely overwhelming, and Zolve can help you through this entire visa process. So they'll go through your profile and make sure that you receive the right guidance in filling out all of the forms. So a lot of hand holding in this delicate situation, and also give you the right guidance in all of the interview prep that you need in order to successfully ace your visa interview. The next thing we're going to talk about are scholarships worth $25,000. Now, it's no joke that studying in the US is difficult and expensive for whichever degree that you're coming for, especially if you are an international student. Now, Zolve offers scholarships worth of $25,000, known as the Zolve Global Scholarship, and all you have to do is fill out the scholarship form. You don't have to purchase any of their products to apply for the scholarship. They just have this scholarship form which you fill out. The link is going to be in the description below. But essentially, 20 different students are awarded scholarships amounting to $25,000, and they have this rotating for both of the intakes. So right now, the application is open for the spring 2024 intake, and in a couple months, the application will open up for the fall 2024 intake as well. The next point is getting a US SIM card. Now, being connected to the internet these days is something that is like a given. At this point, I even pay for additional internet on like flights. But anyway, the point is, as an international student, when you first arrive in the US, you need internet for a lot of things. Google Maps, getting food delivered, maybe Ubers or Lyfts to move around places, trying to figure out train or bus stops. And if not anything, WhatsApp or Instagram Reels, whatever. Internet is a must. When I first landed in Boston to go to Harvard, I did not think this entire thing through. I thought that I would just get the SIM card when I came to the US. But in the first few days when I did not have a SIM card or internet, I would just hop around places that offered like free Wi-Fi, download and screenshot Google Maps to make my way around places, ended up going in circles, and it was just a huge pain, added stress that I could have easily solved by just getting my SIM card in my home country. Now, Zolve makes this process super easy. They'll have your SIM card delivered right to your door, which makes and removes one additional stress from this whole process of moving to the US. And when you land to the US, you just have to insert the SIM card in your phone and you are connected to the internet, also have cellular service. All of this is at a discounted rate, so making your life super simple. Next up, let's talk about bank accounts. Now, opening a bank account was the biggest shock to me, because when I came to the US and went into the bank and told them I wanted to open a student account, they told me to get an appointment and come next week. Now, you need to remember that when you're coming for the spring or fall intake, there are a bunch of other students coming along with you. So banks have queues and lines that stretch from like weeks, and at this point it becomes a little unsafe because you don't want to carry around all that cash. Your parents can't transfer money to you, and it's just a really stressful situation. So to again remove all of this stress, Zolve offers a service where you can actually open a US bank account sitting in your home country, and you don't have to pay any application fee. There's no SSN that you need, which is a social security number. You just need your passport. They will have and do that entire process for you when you are in your home country. So that, again, additional stress is taken away. Personally, I feel like whatever you can get done before coming to the US is the way to go, because when you come here, there are going to be so many unexpected things that you have to tackle, challenges and decisions that you have to make. So getting life figured out a little bit through these, tweaks and strategies is going to be really helpful for you guys. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about are credit cards. Now, I know this is a very touchy topic for international students, and even some parents will be like, well, why does my child need a credit card? He's not earning, I'm paying for them, blah, blah, blah. I completely understand. My parents thought the same way, and which is why they did not give me a credit card. Here's what happened. I didn't have a credit card throughout my college time at Cornell. When I graduated, I decided, okay, I got my first job. I want to buy a car. I went to the Honda dealership to look at a Civic, and that Civic at the time was about $20,000. They said, well, what is your credit score? I'm like, I don't know. They ran it. Apparently, it was 0. The only way to build your credit score is to use or have credit cards in the US. You cannot build your credit score in any other way. Now, Zolve again provides US credit cards. All you need is your college acceptance letter, visa, passport, and some basic documents. And it can just be a card that you're maybe using for some basic like grocery expenses, and you'll basically treat it the same way as you treat it as you treat a debit card. Say goodbye to expensive forex card charges and start earning cash back from your very first transaction with Zolve credit card. Eligible users can also enjoy a credit limit of up to $10,000. If I had built credit history of 2 to 4 years before I went to buy in my first car, I would have been able to save thousands of dollars at that point. And it's not just about buying a car. Whatever big purchase you want to do in life later on, whether it's a car, a house, a motorcycle, whatever else, people buy big stuff with, you need a credit score. So it is very, very important that you guys build this. Again, this is thinking ahead. It may not impact you right now as a student, but 5 to 10 years down the line, it's going to make a huge difference. So that's all that I had for this video. I think that these are some great advice and tips for students that are coming to the US, especially if you are like coming for the first time, you don't have family with you. And I would highly suggest checking out Zolve services. It is truly a one-stop platform for all of your needs, whether it's education loans or credit cards or whatnot. And they provide a very convenient and hassle-free service. So the link for all of this is going to be in the description below. Definitely check it out. If you guys have any other questions regarding like moving to the US, or maybe points that I didn't cover, like not admission related, but this is more of like moving to the US related, put those in the comments below, and we'll have some useful answers. I'll reply to those questions just so everyone can benefit from them. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.